Alright, let's be real. Building credit can feel like this confusing, mysterious game that nobody actually explains properly. Like, how are you supposed to build credit if you've never had credit? And why does it even matter so much? I've been there, starting from scratch, not knowing where to begin, and honestly feeling a little overwhelmed by all the advice out there. Building your credit score fast is totally doable, even if you're starting from zero. So in this video, I'm going to break it all down for you in plain English. No jargon, no complicated finance talk. Just real steps you can take starting today to get that credit score moving in the right direction. So let's get into it. Okay, so let's talk about why having a good credit score actually matters. Because honestly, when I first started hearing about credit scores, I was like, is this just some number that banks obsess over? But no, it's way more important than that. Your credit score is basically your financial reputation. It tells lenders, landlords, and even sometimes employees how trustworthy you are with money. It's like your adult report card, but for how well you manage debt. Now here's where it gets real. If your score is good, life gets easier. You can qualify for better interest rates on things like credit cards, car loans, and mortgages, which literally saves you thousands of dollars over time. Like seriously, two people could buy the same car, but if one has a great credit score and the other one doesn't, one's paying hundreds less per month just because of that number. It also affects whether you get approved for an apartment. Some landlords will straight up deny you if your credit's low. Same with some jobs, especially if they involve handing money. They'll pull your credit to see how responsible you are. And let's say you're trying to start a business one day or need a loan for an emergency. Your credit score can be the thing that determines whether you actually get the money you need or you get told no. Bottom line, a good credit score gives you options. It opens doors. It gives you peace of mind knowing that you can handle unexpected life events without being stuck. So yeah, it's not just about numbers. It's about freedom, flexibility, and not being at the mercy of crazy interest rates or strict approvals. That's why building and protecting your credit is a must, even if you're just getting started. So now let's talk about payment history, because this one is huge when it comes to your credit score. So basically, payment history is exactly what it sounds like. It's a record of whether you've paid your bills on time. Every time you make an on-time payment on something like a credit card, loan, or even a student loan, that goes onto your credit report as a win. But if you miss a payment or pay late, that's a red flag. And get this, payment history makes up 35% of your credit score. That's more than any other single factor. So if you want to build or protect your score, the number one rule is always pay your bills on time. Even if you can't pay the full amount, just making that minimum payment by the due date keeps your history clean. But why does it matter so much? Well, because lenders want to see that you're dependable. If you've been consistently paying things on time, it tells them, okay, this person can handle borrowing money and isn't likely to flake. But one missed payment, that can stay on your credit report for up to 7 years. It's wild. So yeah, payment history is like your trust score. If you've got a solid track record, your credit score reflects that. And lenders are way more likely to give you the green light on credit cards, loans, and even apartment leases. Long story short, pay on time, set reminders, automate it. Whatever you've got to do, it's one of the simplest ways to seriously boost and protect your credit score. So now that we know how important payment history is, here are a few simple tips to make sure you never miss a due date. Set up autopay. This one's a game changer. Almost every credit card or loan service lets you turn on autopay, where it automatically pulls at least the minimum payment from your bank account each month. That way, even if you forget, you're covered. You can still go in and pay more manually, but autopay gives you that safety net. Use calendar reminders or alerts. If autopay isn't your thing, set reminders on your phone or calendar a few days before your due dates. Or better yet, most credit card apps let you turn on notifications when a payment's coming up. These alerts are a lifesaver. Keep all your due dates in one place. It really helps to write down or track all of your payment due dates in one place. This could be a planner, a notes app, or even a spreadsheet. That way you're not trying to remember a dozen different dates in your head. Pay early when you can. If you've got the money, just pay it as soon as the statement hits. You don't have to wait until the due date. Paying early only helps your score, but it also keeps your credit utilization low, which is another big factor in your score. More on that later. Don't ignore small bills. Things like store cards, old medical bills, or random subscriptions can sneak up on you. Even small balances that go unpaid can get sent to collections, and that can tank your score. So yeah, it's worth staying on top of every payment, not just the big ones. Alright, so let's talk about credit utilization. This one trips up a lot of people, but once you get it, it's actually super easy to manage. Credit utilization is basically a fancy way of saying how much of your available credit you're using. Let's say you've got a credit card with a $1,000 limit, and you've put $300 on it. That means you're using 30% of your available credit. Your credit utilization is 30%. Now here's the big deal. Credit utilization makes up 30% of your credit score, right behind payment history. So yeah, it's a big deal. The lower your utilization, the better it looks to lenders. It shows that you're not maxing out your cards or living off borrowed money. So what's a good rule of thumb? Well, try to keep your utilization below 30% of your total credit limit. Below 10% is even better if you're trying to really boost your score. But once you start getting close to maxing out your card, even if you're paying on time, it can still hurt your score because it looks like you might be relying too much on credit. So why does it matter? Well, lenders don't just want to know if you pay on time. They also want to see how responsibly you use credit. If you're consistently using up all of your available credit, it makes you look like a risk, even if you've never missed a payment. So if you're trying to build or improve your score, here are a few things you can do. Pay your balance down before the statement closes. Your balance gets reported to the credit bureaus around your statement date, not your due date. Paying early can make your reported utilization look way lower. Ask for a credit limit increase. If your limit goes up, but you keep spending the same amount, your utilization automatically drops. Just don't use the higher limit as an excuse to spend more. Spread out your spending across multiple cards. If you have more than one card, try not to load up just one of them. Keep each individual card's utilization low. Pay more than once a month. If you're making a lot of purchases, break your payments into chunks. Paying mid-cycle helps keep your balance low throughout the month. So yeah, credit utilization is all about balance. You can use your cards, just don't go wild. Keep those balances low and your credit score will thank you for it. Alright, next up, length of credit history. This one's a little more slow burn, but it still plays a big role in your credit score over time. So here's what it means. This factor is all about how long you've had credit accounts open. It looks at stuff like how long your oldest account has been open, the average age of all your accounts, and how recently you've used them. Basically, the longer your credit history, the more data lenders have to see how you handle credit, and that can really work in your favor. So how much does it matter? Well, it makes up about 15% of your credit score. Not as big as payment history or credit utilization, but still important, especially in the long run. Here's why it matters. Lenders like to see consistency. If you've had a credit card for 5, 10, or even 15 years and always used it responsibly, that shows stability. But if your accounts are all brand new, they don't have much to go off. So you're a bit more of a question mark in their eyes. So how do you build this part of your credit? Well, start as early as you can. If you're just starting out, don't stress. Everyone starts with a short history. The key is to open an account, like a starter credit card or a secured card. Use it wisely and keep it open. Time will do the rest. Don't close your oldest accounts. Even if you don't use an old credit card anymore, keeping it open helps your average account age. Unless it has a crazy annual fee or something, try to keep those older accounts alive, even if you only use them for small purchases now and then. Be mindful of opening too many new accounts at once. Every time you open a new account, it lowers your average account age. That's not a huge deal if you're managing everything well, but if you're trying to build credit, spacing things out can help. So yeah, length of credit history is kind of like the maturity factor in your score. It takes time, but the longer you play the game responsibly, the more it works in your favor. Okay, so now we're going to be talking about something called credit mix. And yeah, it sounds kind of boring at first, but it actually plays a solid role in your credit score. Basically, credit mix is all about the different types of credit accounts you have. Think of it like this. Lenders want to see that you can handle different kinds of borrowing, not just one type. So there are two main types of credits. Revolving credit. This includes things like credit cards or lines of credit. The amount you owe can go up and down, and you can keep using it as long as you stay under your limits and make payments. Installment credit. This is things like car loans, student loans, or a mortgage. You borrow a set amount and pay it back in fixed monthly payments over time. If you've got a mix of both, it shows you can juggle different kinds of debt responsibly, and that gives your score a little boost. So how much does it matter? Well, credit mix makes up about 10% of your credit score. It's not the biggest slice of the pie, but every bit helps, especially if you're trying to max out your score potential. So how do you use this to your advantage? Well, here's the thing. You don't need to open a new account just for the sake of having a mix. That's not worth it. But if you're already thinking about, say, a small personal loan or financing a car you actually need, and you've only ever had credit cards, adding that installment loan can help round out your profile. Same thing goes the other way. If you've only ever had loans, like student loans, getting a starter credit card and using it responsibly can add variety to your credit mix. It's not about quantity, it's about variety and responsible use. So yeah, credit mix is kind of like saying, hey, I don't just know how to use a credit card, I can handle a loan too. It adds depth to your credit profile and makes you look more trustworthy to lenders. Alright, the last piece of the credit score puzzle, new credit, aka those times when you apply for something and the lender pulls your credit report. Those are called hard inquiries. So whenever you apply for a new credit card, loan, car financing, or even a store card, the lender usually checks your credit. That's a hard inquiry, and it gets recorded on your credit report. Now, here's the thing. Too many of these hard pulls in a short amount of time can actually lower your score, especially if you're just starting to build credit. It makes it look like you might be desperate for credit, which can be a red flag to lenders. So how much does it affect your score? Well, new credit makes up about 10% of your credit score. Not a huge chunk, but if you've got a short credit history or you're trying to build your score fast, it's something to keep an eye on. Here's how to handle it. Space out your credit applications. Don't apply for multiple credit cards or loans back to back. Try to wait at least a few months between applications so you don't rack up a bunch of hard inquiries. Rate shopping won't hurt you. If you're shopping around for something like a car loan or mortgage, credit bureaus usually count multiple inquiries within a short period, like 14 to 45 days, as one inquiry. So don't stress about that kind of stuff. They know you're just comparing rates. Soft inquiries don't affect your score. Things like checking your own credit score or getting pre-approved offers in the mail. That's a soft inquiry. It shows up on your report, but it doesn't impact your score at all. So yeah, the key with new credit is just being intentional. Only apply when you really need to, and avoid applying just to see if you'll get approved. It's tempting, I know, but every hard pull counts. Alright, so that's the full breakdown of how to build your credit score fast, even if you're starting from zero. We talked about the big five. Payment history, just pay on time always. Credit utilization, keep those balances low. Length of credit history, let time work for you. Credit mix, show you can handle different types of credit. New credit, don't go on an application spree. Now, here's the thing. Building credit isn't about being perfect. It's about being consistent and a little bit strategic. If you apply what we talked about today, you'll be surprised how quickly your score can improve. Seriously, even a few smart moves can make a big difference. Whether you're trying to get approved for your first apartment, buy a car, or just feel more in control of your money, having a strong credit score is one of the best tools you can have in your back pocket. So take the first step today, even if that just means checking your credit score, setting up autopay, or paying down a balance. Start small and stay consistent. And hey, if this helped you out, feel free to share it with someone who might need it too. Or drop a comment if you have any questions. I'm always here to help. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll catch you in the next video.